Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of truth and knowledge, welcome to an experience that will take you on a captivating journey beyond our world. Today we have a special treat for you as we sit down with the renowned Andromedan contactee, Alex Collier. Prepare yourself for a rapid-fire question and answer session that delves into the depths of cosmic wisdom and unveils the mysteries of the universe. As always, please remember to like this video and share it with your friends and family. That way, it gets seen by more truth seekers. Also, remember Alex hosts a live webinar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to visit the link in the description for more information. But for now, here are today's rapid-fire questions and answers.
It seems unbearable that the Anunnaki retain any ownership of any territories in our star system. For the human race to truly be free and secure, they simply must give up their footholds in our system, including giving up their Saturn territory. Do you agree, disagree, slightly agree, somewhat agree?
I don't have enough information to pass a judgment on that. The only information I have is that regarding Earth. We don't even have information regarding Mars. Okay? We don't have the hard history yet. So here's my thoughts on that. Other councils are going to have to make those decisions. Right now, my focus is on you, me, and Earth, the Terran race. The knights and oracles of Earth. That's my goal. That's my focus. I want us to be free. I want us to elevate our consciousness. I want us to free future generations to be and explore all that is and can be explored. I want our humanity to have a home world unconditionally that belongs to us. That right now is such a big job, such a huge, important thing that I'm not concerned about the Anunnaki and what they did or what they didn't do. That's for other powers that be to deal with. We have a race of humans on this planet that are struggling for their own identity. The old system of control and domination that involved physical, mental, food, spiritual, all those systems that we've been living under were totally corrupt and designed to suppress. Many of those systems we ourselves have to rebuild in a way that is beneficial to everyone. That in itself is going to take a great deal of brain power and internal fortitude to move us forward, to literally start from scratch. Many, many things. And to educate not only those here on the surface, but those future generations to come. We have to lay the foundation. I can't even worry about that stuff at the moment. Did all the Anunnaki screw up? No, I don't believe they did. Did some do it? Yes, they did. Did they abuse their power? Yes, they absolutely did. Did some try to protect humanity? Obviously, they did. So I can't make a blanket statement and say, they should be disowned of everything. I'm not even going to go there because I don't have all the data. I don't have all the information. And right now, like I just said earlier, when I opened up this, my comments on this question is, my focus right now is on all the knights and oracles of Terra and children thereof. That's got to be our first priority. To put any energy anywhere else at this time, I think is not only futile, but it's displaced. We need to focus on ourselves and rebuilding our own race. I didn't keep coming down here just to screw this up again. And I'm not going to. And I don't think anybody else wants to either. Okay? Let's get this done. Let's get this done. The universe will take care of the rest. Next question, please. That was a great question, though. That was a good question. That needed to be asked and put into perspective. So thank you very much for that. The last webinar, apparently I was curt on a couple of answers that I gave. I apologize for that. If I insulted someone or I took something out of context and I was curt, I can be curt. I own that. So I apologize for that. I will be much more consciously aware of that going forward.
Have the A's ever mentioned anything about the inner earth benevolent beings, Telosians or Agarthans, or our Lemurian ancestors?
They have, and I've touched upon it back in the 90s and early 2000s. But I was always told that was not my lane, that others would be coming forward who have not only been interacting but living with them, and that they themselves would come forward to tell their own story. So that's why I haven't spent a lot of time on it, because it wasn't my place. And it still isn't my place. So I don't think you'll have to be, I don't think you'll have to wait much further, Tanya, for that information to come. I do not know if it's any of the speakers that are talking today about that, or if it's several people that will be coming forward who actually have lived there. It's one thing to meet them. It's another to actually live with them. So, but there's tremendous disclosure happening around the world. And I think the time is at hand for that information to come forward. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's not my role for that.
Has the spraying in the sky stopped?
No. No, we don't see it as much here in Colorado. But there will be weeks without anything where it's just absolutely gorgeous. The most incredible sky, the blue you've ever seen. And then there'll be 1 or 2 days where it is just a checkerboard, And I'm not sure what it's about. I'm not sure what they're doing, what they're spraying, or who's paying for it. I don't exactly know. There's a rumor that they're spraying hydroxy in the air to remove all the nanoparticles from the atmosphere. But I don't know that for a fact. That's just something that I was told. But it wasn't from the A's. So I don't know if it's true or not. But again, that goes back to, our physical form needing time to detox as we jump bands in frequency. Maybe this is a good time to mention it. I have mentioned in the past quantumhealingsystems.com or .org. I have been experimenting with one of their devices. I've had it a week now. This is a quantum twine system. And I got this last Friday during the last webinar. It showed up and was left at the doorstep during the webinar. And this is the device that I have. It's the latest protocol type. And I've been using it for a week. Within 72 hours, I had no physical pain whatsoever in my body. And it's probably been the first time in about 18 years. In the last 48 hours, I'm beginning to taste metallic metal in my mouth. And I know from having done cleanses in the past, that's my body detoxing. And that's just by keeping this with me on my person or sleeping with it at my nightstand. I don't know if this is indicative of everyone or not, but I'm sharing with you this so you can begin to do some research. I am incredibly encouraged by this quantum frequency. I'm not sure what to say at this point other than I've only had it for a week. But I'm bringing it to your attention, okay, for you to look into it and to start paying attention. When I'm not carrying it, I notice the change. I do. I notice the change. So just heads up, okay? Heads up. Quantum healing systems. I think somebody put up the website there. It's coming along. It's coming along. Okay. So, okay, enough on that. I have it right here. It's within 10 feet of me.
Did you hear about the theory of Dr. Anatoly Fomenko? He states that in our chronology, the baddies added 1,000 years. It starts at approximately 200 AD and until 1200 AD. Is that false flag or truth? Mr. Fomenko wrote several books about it.
I have not read his books, but I am familiar with the information. And it resonates. It does in fact resonate. Nothing would surprise me. Which is why, we look at ancient ruins and we give them a much shorter date than they probably should have. I mean, so much more went on in the past than we realize. And if you're going to erase history so that we would have no place of grounding, it makes sense that you would do something this dastardly. It makes sense. So I'm not at all surprised. Um, but the information that I have seen that's been shared with me resonates. And I've talked about how so much of our history has been erased from us that it doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me whatsoever. You know, but that information will be brought forth. Our true history will be shared with us through holographic technology. It already exists, it just hasn't been rolled out to us yet. Because so much dogma needs to fall away first for anybody to even be open to it. Which is sad, but you know, the brainwashing has been so intense, you know, that most people wouldn't even listen. They wouldn't even hear it. So the dogma has to be exposed first so that people will be open to even being able to recognize the truth when they hear it. So there is a methodology to this of waking up humanity. And those of us who are awake and have been awake, you know, we're like, come on, let's go, let's get on with it. What's the delay? And to keep it in perspective, they're trying to awaken as many people as possible, which is the appropriate thing to do. It's the humanitarian thing to do. It really is, to try to take as many people forward as possible. There is that percentage that just won't. We have to love them from a distance. That's all we can do. That's all we can do.
JP via Dr. Sala has discussed the Ark at nearby Oleshki Sands. Have you ideas of what may be going on?
That's not my lane. That is not my lane. Um, when you're dealing with arcs, you are dealing with multiple dimensional realities. And you are also dealing with different life forms and historical precedents. I don't know how else to say that without getting myself all jammed up. So I'm just going to say, trust the process. Trust the process. The way things are unfolding, they are meant to unfold. There are very specific protocols that have to be followed when dealing with these types of technologies and historical precedents. Okay? And each arc may represent a different group. Therefore, the approach to dealing with it will not always be the same. other considerations have to be placed in the forefront and appropriately executed or respected. Okay? They're not a threat. They're not a threat. They just have to be observed in a very different way because they represent something different. Hey, look. There are 23 different body types of the human being on this planet, each one representing something off-world. That representation deserves not only respect, but also acknowledgement. Because that's part of our ancestral history. Just pay attention. Really pay attention. Okay, this is history unveiling itself. This is human ancestry reintroducing itself to all of us alive today. These things are a really, really big deal. They are. Because what we're all, at the end of this process, going to find out is that we are extraterrestrials too. We're ETs too. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we are. Cat's out of the bag, okay? But you'll know it for a fact. And that ends that argument once and for all. No one will ever bring it up again.
Since we have been so manipulated over the years, even caught by a net into returning here over and over, how much does one personal karma play into our lives when some of our decisions may not be made from our own free will?
That's an excellent question. That's an excellent question. You know, the only way I can respond to that question is I have to go back to something that Theseus taught me, shared with me so many, many years ago. And it was about what happens when we die. You know, and I grew up a Catholic. So I had asked him, you know, are we judged? And do we go to heaven or do we go to hell? You know, and his response to that was not necessarily to address that dogmatic system, but to say that when any soul crosses over, they are shown the points of their lifetime where they intentionally withheld love, and they are asked to explain it. They are asked to explain the periods and moments where they intentionally chose to withhold love. And I think that's what we're talking about. Either way, that's what we're talking about. So I think that's what we have to come to terms with. I think that's the pain that we all carry, lifetime after lifetime, is a decision to withhold love. there is a very significant profoundness to that decision that we don't appreciate in the moment where we do it. And I guess the question is, in those moments where we do it, are we totally in the present? Do we totally understand what it is we're doing at the time when we make those decisions? Or are we just reacting? Are we just so overwhelmed in some other frequency that we cannot see the forest from the trees? Those are profound questions that all deserve an answer. And I am on that same path with all of you.
What if, asks Miles, you were in charge of the Alliance, and assuming you just recovered those seeds, which we now know is semen sought by unknown ETs in what Torhan describes as a dark place in Iraq, who intend to use it to wake up another very powerful Anunnaki god, are you, or Mornay, okay with that? Worth the risk? I don't understand what that question is, but I hope you do.
They're not going to let that happen. They are not going to let that happen. They are not going to let that happen. I can assure you they're not going to let that happen. We've come way too far for some stupid shit like that. No. There's too many boots on the ground to let that happen. In fact, that whole situation may have already been corrected, but nobody knows about it yet because there's a chain of command and it hasn't reached that element of the chain of command yet, that this situation's already been resolved. We're dealing with time travelers here, folks. They can go back to the point before it even happened. Focus on what you want. Focus on what your world's going to look like when you have your freedom. Focus on the best version of yourself you can imagine yourself being. Okay? Let's not get distracted with all these woulda, coulda, shoulda things. Let's focus on what we know to be true about the reality we ourselves are creating. Okay, let's bring it back to center. And this is important. Let's bring it all back to center. What does humanity look like when it's not being manipulated? Who are you when you're not in stress, when you're not in survival? You no longer have to worry and survive the struggle to just exist. What does that look like? Who are you as that person? What does it look like if you are completely content and happy? What does it feel like to be full of unconditional love? Let's not get distracted with all this other shit. Okay? If I were to hypothetically say to you that this battle is already over and that what we're seeing and hearing is all part of the awakening process for humanity, that we're being taken step by step to a place where we realize that the war is over, the struggle is over, and that humanity now has full responsibility for itself. How would that make you feel? How would that make you feel?
There you have it, fellow truth seekers. An enlightening and exhilarating rapid-fire question and answer session with the remarkable Alex Collier, sharing his profound encounters with the benevolent Andromedan extraterrestrial beings. As we continue our cosmic journey, let us embrace the wisdom of the Andromedans and carry their message of love, unity, and compassion with us. Together, we can create a world where humanity stands united, ready to embrace the wonders that await us in the vast expanse of the universe. If you found this rapid-fire question and answer session fascinating, hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more captivating content like this. Thank you for joining us on this incredible adventure. Until next time, may the stars guide you on your path of enlightenment and exploration. And remember to always seek knowledge and stay curious. If you want to get the latest information from Alex Collier, we host a live webinar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information and dates of upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org. Please click on one of the above videos to seek more of Alex Collier's knowledge.